Good afternoon from TentandTable. Today we're going to do a video showing you the proper setup for a frame tent jack. First I want to show you how your frame tent jack is going to arrive. First you're going to have the base. It's going to arrive wrapped up like this, and it's going to contain the base, which when it's unwrapped is going to look just like this. You're also going to receive a bigger box, which is actually going to have the long part of the frame tent jack in it. There's going to be two of these pieces with the pipes inside. And there's also going to be a piece of extension pipe, and we'll show you how that's used during the setup. Finally, you're going to receive a box like this. And in this box is going to be the hand winch. Also in the box is going to be the handle for the hand winch, the mounting plate for the hand winch, and the hardware for the hand winch. As you can see, the hand winch comes in two pieces that are connected. You have the part that accepts the handle, and you have the winch that goes on top of the frame tent jack. These three boxes, your base, your winch assembly, and your frame, all make up the frame tent jack. When you get ready for your assembly, the first thing you're going to want to do is decide whether or not you want your base to be normal, or you want to add one or all three of the extension pipes that come with your frame tent jack assembly kit. Remember, these three extension pipes are going to be located in the box with the frame. One of the first things you're going to want to do when you do your frame tent jack assembly is you're going to want to mount the top of the winch. So here you can see is the top assembly, which we showed you comes in the box. You're going to mount it right to the top. As you can see, it will sit right on the plate and can be affixed with these 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts and nuts. The most important thing is that when it is assembled, you want the winch, the long part of the winch, to run perpendicular to the frame. So if this is turned and running the long way, it will not winch properly. So make sure the top is perpendicular to the long part of the frame. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put our main frame tent jack assembly together and apply it to the base and get it ready for the installation of the crank. So what they're going to do is they're going to take the two pieces, and as you can see, one piece easily fits inside the other piece. And constitutes the main part of the frame tent jack assembly. After it's put together, they will walk it over to the base. And again, as you can see, it easily sets and fits right into the two male connectors on the top of the base. Now, if we look at the top of the assembly, we again can see that it is running perpendicular to the long part of the frame tent jack assembly. This will allow for proper winching. You can see when they did the assembly, they added one of the extender legs to the base of the frame tent jack. This is an optional assembly and needs to only be done depending on the size of the frame tent. So now for the final part of the assembly, you want to add the crank. So what you want to do is you want to look directly at the frame tent jack assembly, and you want to make sure you're staring not at the thin part, but at the long part. When you look directly up, you should see your perpendicular assembly up there, and you should make sure that the hook is to your right. Keep the hook to your right. You first mount your mounting bracket onto the frame tent jack assembly. As you can see, it's already mounted with these 3 bolts and attached by nuts and washers on the back that come in your assembly kit. After the mounting plate is on, next you will install the crank. The crank simply fits onto this part of the mounting bracket, again with the nuts, bolts, and washers that are provided. As you are staring at the assembly, it is extremely important that your hook is to the right and that your handle is to the left. That means that this part will be assembled facing you with the crank to the left. What this will allow you to do is to be able to move the frame tent without the crank assembly affecting the movement of the jack. So again, just to summarize the frame tent jack assembly, the first thing you want to do is have your base and decide whether or not you want to install your 3 extension legs. The next step is to attach the 2 frame pieces together after you have put on your winch assembly on the top, perpendicular to the long part of the assembly. After that, it can be simply placed onto the base. You want to stare directly at your assembly, looking up, seeing a perpendicular winch, looking at the long part of the assembly. Make sure your hook is to the right. Mount your bracket plate using the holes, nuts, bolts, and washers provided, making sure that the handle is to the left and your hook is to the right, and this will allow you easy operation of your frame tent jack. You can reach us at 1-888-322-5606.